All right, welcome back to another day of science where we are learning about animals this week. Earlier this week, yesterday, we learned about a type of animal called amphibians. Remember, we learned that amphibians are animals that need to be close to water, especially for the first half of their life. They change throughout their lives, their bodies change. They sometimes have webbed feet, they have smooth skin, it's usually wet. They also lay eggs. So, yesterday we talked about a salamander. Today we are going to look at not a frog because this begins with a T and T says t t t. We're going to talk about the life cycle of toads. That's right. Just kind of like a big frog. They're kind of scary looking sometimes. A life cycle is the changes that a toad goes through in its life. So you see four pictures here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are the four stages that a toad will go through in its life. So we're going to check out each one of those today. A toad begins as an egg. That's right, those little dots you see down here, those are eggs. Check this out. It says a female toad, that means a girl toad, lays eggs in water. Depending on the temperature, the eggs will hatch between 3 days to 2 weeks. Tiny black tadpoles will hatch. What's a tadpole? What comes out of these eggs? Let's see what a tadpole looks like. What? Does that look like a toad to you? Let's read about these tadpoles. It says tadpoles will spend the next few weeks growing. They breathe through their gills on the outside of their bodies. So they have gills just like fish. They kind of look like funny looking fish down there. That's how a frog or a toad begins. First it's an egg, then it's a tadpole. Next, it becomes something called a toadlet. That's a funny word. He looks kind of similar to a tadpole. Do you see anything that's a little bit different? That's right. Suddenly he's got like arms and legs. Let's read about this toadlet. It says, after about 3 months, a tadpole becomes a toadlet. They can now eat small bugs and will leave the water and spend the majority of their lives on land. So now, since it's a toadlet, it doesn't need to be in the water anymore. It's going to start to climb out of the water and become a toad, an adult toad. This is a toad that has completely grown. It says the toad will continue to grow and eventually loses its tail. An adult toad is ready to reproduce, that means have more babies, in 2 to 3 years. Can you believe that? It starts as an egg, it becomes a tadpole, which is similar to a fish, then it becomes a toadlet. It's like got arms and legs and a tail. And remember, it starts to leave the water at this point. And then it becomes a big toad. Looks like these toads change a lot throughout their lives. So, on the next slide, you are going to try to draw the life cycle of a toad all by yourself. So, check out these pictures one more time. Eggs, tadpoles, toadlet, and a toad. Let's see if we can draw these pictures on the next slide.